What up fuckers, it's Andy, and welcome to another episode of Video Game Deathmatch. You've just found me walking down the streets of a decaying 1980s dystopia, ready to talk all about... What? Wait, what? No, this is way too soon.
Okay, fire.
Ooh. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Where the fuck am I? I'm in a lab? Hooked up to all these machines. Something doesn't feel right. Why can't I feel my arms? My legs? Oh Jesus fuck. My arms. My legs. My junk. It's all machinery.
Just stay calm. We need to finish calibrating your hardware.
Who is that? Is that a child?
That was...
I'm Doobie Hauser, child genius.
Okay. And who's the other guy?
I, Milton Craig, CEO of Omega Co. We are...
A company that specializes in cybertech, advanced weapons development, and bizarrely offers internships to children.
I guess it's cheaper than hiring an adult with a master's.
Indeed, but please stay focused.
I'm trying, but this is a lot. And are you okay? You sound terrible.
I'm very ill.
And what's that weird noise? Is that music playing?
We're pumping in soothing ambience. Studies show it helps with reducing stress in test subjects.
I don't know if that's working, to be honest. I'm mildly freaking out here.
Just remain calm. Try to do what you normally do. If you weren't hooked up to all these cables and monitors.
Fuck. Okay. I guess this sort of predicament gets me thinking about two of my favourite robot-themed movie franchises, Terminator and RoboCop.
Yes, very good.
Okay, granted. I only like a combined 3 movies in those franchises. 2 Terminators and 1 RoboCop, to be clear. But I always live in hope that they'll make another good one eventually. They probably won't. The video game side of things is also quite dicey. The Terminator game series started out in 1991 with a tie-in for the original movie, released a whole 7 years after that movie was released. 19 games have been released based on the movie so far, and 7 others released unrelated to any movie. The Terminator has also appeared in 7 non-Terminator games, including Fortnite, Mortal Kombat, and a pre-order playable character in WWE 2K16. A weird legacy if ever there was one. RoboCop's time with video games is a little more low-key, and generally speaking, a lot less shameless. His first video game was in 1988, only 1 year after the release of the movie. It was initially released on arcade before being ported to 11 different systems. These ports included a Game Boy version which featured the saddest, most beautiful music you might ever hear. I didn't know I could do that. RoboCop 2 received 8 ports, all slightly different from each other. RoboCop 3 had 2 different versions developed, one by Digital Image Design, which featured multiple gameplay styles and a quite groundbreaking use of early 3D graphics. The Probe software version was a more classic side-scrolling shooter like previous incarnations. After the source material dried up, RoboCop received only a further 2 games. He spent a lot of time on mobiles up until 2023's release of RoboCop Rogue City, and he appeared in only 2 non-RoboCop related games, Fortnite and Mortal Kombat 11. The one game both properties share is RoboCop vs Terminator, which is, again, a pretty solid side-scrolling shooter. For the purposes of this episode, I'm going to be pitting their 2 most recent games against each other, Terminator Resistance and RoboCop Rogue City. Terminator Resistance was released in 2019, developed by Teon and published by Reef Entertainment. RoboCop Rogue City was released in 2023, developed once again by Teon, and this time published under Nason's banner. You may remember them as one of the publishers of Lord of the Rings Gollum. What the fuck? Ah, for fuck's... Someone just transferred a picture of a toilet bowl to my internal computer. What the fuck is wrong with people?
You can change your file transfer permissions if necessary.
Maybe later. So, the 5 categories I'll be using for this discussion are visual presentation, sound and music, story, vibes, and finally gameplay. The game with the most wins will be declared the superior release. How is that so far?
Great.
Fine.
Keep going.
Okay, let's get started then. Round 1. Visual presentation. Can you tell me what the purpose of this is? Why was I chosen for this experiment?
It's unimportant.
I don't understand.
We're going to test your memory. We'd like to check your visual recall skills.
Alright, it's a good enough time to talk about the graphical presentation of Terminator Resistance and RoboCop Rogue City. For fairness, each game will be assessed relative to the time of their release. Terminator Resistance has some strong moody lighting. The Terminator models themselves look great. The supporting cast have some solid character models and animations. The locations are well designed and have an appropriately gritty texture to them, even if it's mostly ruined city blocks and stretches of wasteland. Essentially a less visually interesting variation of Fallout. Everything appears a little dated even relative to 2019, which saw the release of Control, Resident Evil 2's remake, and Death Stranding. 3 games that remain stunning to this day. In this context, the visuals in Terminator Resistance are serviceable but nothing revelatory. Don't forget to get a life and... What?
His vitals are rising.
Stay focused, please.
Okay. RoboCop Rogue City has great environments. The city streets and grimy criminal bases are perfectly realised, gritty and lit with the right level of neon. I would often feel like I was stomping through the sets of a 1980s action movie. The NPCs have solid, well-defined looking textures, but appear seriously dated in their animations. Very stiff and unconvincing, especially in the facial animations. For context, 2023 saw the release of Alan Wake 2 and Final Fantasy 16, and these visuals look considerably poorer in comparison, more like a late-era PS3 game receiving a shiny remaster. But what's really costing Rogue City some significant points in this category is performance. Performance is a big part of a game's presentation, and there were times where Rogue City slowed to a crawl during some sequences, and this was played on a PS5. I'm not a massive frame rate guy. My mind could cope with the idea of something running less than 60 frames per second, but this was approaching flipbook levels of frame rates. I tried the same section several times to the same sort of results, so it wasn't just a momentary dip in the hardware, it was a consistent issue. It was atrocious. Perhaps it's an issue that's been fixed by the time you hear this, but at the time of recording, it was just unforgivable. This isn't right. I don't feel good. I need to go. I need to get out of here.
Readings are spiking.
Security, get in there right now. Stop him.
sorry.
Security! Surround him. He's trying to escape.
Swivel punch. For its consistency and its ability to hold its own more effectively amongst its contemporaries, the winner for this round is Terminator Resistance. Later, bitches. Not you, Doobie.
I think he was referring to you.
I got that, thank you.
Round 2. Sound and music. I managed to escape that high-tech lab, and now I'm just wandering around aimlessly. I've just got this unshakable feeling I need to find the people who gunned me down to get some sort of closure.
Andy.
What was that?
Andy. I love you.
Leave me alone! I think I'm being haunted by the sounds of my own past. But on the topic of sounds, Terminator Resistance suffers somewhat in this category compared to the previous one. The score is largely forgettable when it doesn't get to repurpose Brad Feidel's iconic themes. It feels rather generic at times. The sound effects are serviceable, unless a Terminator is around. They do a great job of replicating their sinister mechanical movements. It sends a chill down your spine. Basically, whenever an actual classic Terminator isn't around, the soundscape suffers from a real lack of urgency.
Family photo time. Everyone get in here.
This is getting too emotionally intense.
Another bowl of chili. Is it too enough?
What the fuck?
What happened in the bathroom? It looks like something exploded in there.
Why am I remembering this? Let's keep moving.
You need to lay out that chili. The blood stains won't wash out of your underwear anymore.
Okay, I think we're done now. Accessing memory database. Partition all embarrassing memories. Transfer to data spike. Okay, I'll just keep that separate. On to RoboCop Rogue City. This game has great music. It uses all of Basil Polidoris' iconic themes from the movie, which kick in appropriately during big violent shootouts. It also utilises some fun, period-appropriate original songs that help create a real sense of place. The city streets have solid ambience, the sounds of radios bleeding through shop windows, or the chatter of people in alleyways around you. A lot of thought has gone into making these places sound lived in, and that helps immerse you in RoboCop's time on the beat. Wait, what now? Oh no, this is when I was gunned down. It sucked. Wait, I don't remember this part. They're saying something. Computer, can you attempt to repair this audio?
It's Mech Black. Wait for the money transfer.
Mech Black. What is that? Oh, it's a nightclub. Thank you, computer. And I've got a handy on-screen map to help me get there. Nice. The winner for this round is RoboCop Rogue City. Now it's time to get some payback. Round 3. Story. I've just made it to Mech Black, the hottest / seediest nightclub in the city. What the fuck? Someone just transferred another photo to my head. It's their balls. Okay, I'm done. Computer, please change file transfer settings. Always ask permission before accepting files. Okay, moving on from that. Fuck. There's a long line to get in, but I feel like I should be honourable and at least try to maintain good queuing etiquette. While I wait for the line to thin out, let's talk about the stories of these games. Terminator Resistance is a pretty standard story, at least initially. You're being hunted by an infiltrator-class Terminator, and you are responsible for keeping numerous survivors safe throughout all of this. There are twists and turns, and time travel involved, naturally, but it's pretty straightforward in terms of a Terminator story. Survivors being pursued by an unstoppable monster, a last-ditch attempt to shut down Skynet once and for all. It's taking liberties with the source material here and there, but when you break it down to its composite parts, it's a very straightforward narrative, and any deviations from canon in the story can be easily excused. This is a franchise where time travel and temporal anomalies are kind of baked into the storylines. Critically, the game is not being sold as part of the movie's canon. In fact, in the case of Terminator and everything that happened after T2, it's probably an essential one.
You on the list?
Yes?
What's your name?
Fuck. Quick, computer, scan the criminal database. There must be someone who's known to hang out here that isn't in prison or dead. My name is Winona Ryder. Shit. Oh, fuck it. Oh, fuck. I didn't think his head would do that. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I should probably get in there. Wow, this is loud. Computer, increase audio dampness. Right. While I search for the scumbags who shot me, let's get to RoboCop Rogue City. I think the biggest issue for me is that the original RoboCop is a very simple story. It's got things to say that lend it both emotional heft and satirical bite, but the core functions of the plot are very straightforward and easy to grasp. Rogue City starts out feeling like that, a very sturdy revenge story, but it very quickly becomes unwieldy and preoccupied with bigger story ideas. It's clear that while it has cool concepts, it has too many of them. It's got an ambitious goal of tying together the entire RoboCop trilogy, and it's mostly, surprisingly, successful at tying all of these plot threads together. So, in purely mechanical terms, the story is a big success, but it comes across like a massive misunderstanding of the character and his legacy. It's convoluted to a fault. Terminator gets away with being convoluted. That series has always been that way, but the original RoboCop movie, the only good RoboCop movie to be very clear, was not built on the complexity of its storytelling. It was built on mood and emotion and viciously mocking America, the militarization of its police force, the prioritizing of profits over people, and the sort of media culture cesspit that could normalize those concepts. You don't need to bedazzle RoboCop in shiny plot points to make it relevant to modern audiences. It's always going to feel grimly relevant. RoboCop was never a machine that ran on plot twists. It ran purely on its own disdain for a society hell-bent on fucking cannibalizing itself. That's why the story for RoboCop Rogue City ultimately doesn't work. I found them. Oh, 3 of them at least. Stop it! Do I have any way of defending myself? Whoa, my hand just turned into a cannon. Okay, let's just try to incapacitate them by taking out their knees. I need them alive to interrogate. Ah, fuck. I just turned them to mulch. And their knees are still intact somehow. Oh wait, I might be in luck. One of them was carrying an oversized portable phone. I'm just trying to shake off the severed hand. I don't know, like a fucking vice. There. Okay. Time to scan the phone's records. Aha! The last call was made to the industrial district. An abandoned spirograph factory. That must be where the rest of the gang are hiding. The winner for this round goes to the one that feels the most in line with the spirit and themes of the original movies. And that's Terminator Resistance. I should get moving. I think someone called the cops. Understandably. Round 4. Vibes. found the abandoned factory. This is where I suspect the remaining gang members are hiding out. The atmosphere here is... my scans say very foreboding. I'm expecting things to pop off at any moment. The overall vibes in a video game need to be carefully considered too. For me, the term vibes is just a way of assessing how each game feels, especially compared to their movie counterparts. Do the vibes fit? Is the mood right? Do they immerse me in their worlds in a satisfying way? If the atmosphere feels inauthentic, you're not going to buy into what the game is doing, you're not going to emotionally invest. Terminator Resistance has a very pronounced air of danger wherever you go. The seemingly omnipresent machines will have you on edge enough that you will begin to listen out for the sounds of patrols. I found myself scurrying from hiding spot to hiding spot because the game did a surprisingly good job of making me feel like one of the last survivors of humanity, and most crucially, it made the machines feel dangerous. Ah! Some fucker shot me in the head. Okay, there are some of the thugs. Computer, activate heat-seeking Stinger missiles. More of them. Everyone needs to jump off my robot nuts right now. Fucking had it. Activate hand cannon. Finally, a bit of peace. I don't think any of those piles of viscera belong to the guys I'm looking for, so let's keep going. Oh, I guess we're done looking already. I just want some answers.
You'll never take us alive.
You know what? I really don't give a shit anymore. I'm just going to shoot those oil barrels that they've stacked up beside the cabin they're hiding in. Better. While we rummage through the debris here, looking for some clues, let's get to RoboCop Rogue City. The decaying streets of Detroit, the abandoned factory grounds, the chaos of the police station, they're all incredibly well realised. The fizzling neon that illuminates street corners, the sounds of citizens walking around, talking to each other, the sort of hard edge that comes from a life raised in a tough neighbourhood. We already discussed how well the game captured the look of a RoboCop movie, but the feel is there too. And the main story is busy to a fault, but the side quests are where Rogue City really excels. You will find yourself manning the front desk at the police station, handing around get well soon cards, issuing parking tickets. A lot of thought went into making sure you feel like RoboCop and gives old Detroit a sense of place and the people around you a sense of character. Everything that happens in this game feels like it suits the world you're in and helps make the world feel more fleshed out. Oh, look at this. One of the thugs was carrying a cassette that remained somehow intact. The sticky tape label reads blackmail. Pretty suspicious sounding. I'm going to analyse this tape with my built-in cassette deck. It's the 80s, of course I can play cassettes. The tape appears damaged. I'll try to fix the audio a little bit. The job is very simple. I need you to take someone out for me. Make sure not to shoot the brain. We will collect the remains immediately after the job is done. That asthmatic old fuck. It's Milton Gregg that orchestrated my attack. He's behind all of this. I better keep this tape safe for evidence. Oh, fuck. Goddamn shitting. Fucking piece of shit. The cassette player just chewed up my tape. Damning shitting. Fuck ass. While I tried to find a pencil to help salvage this, we'll move on to the next round. The winner for vibes is RoboCop Rogue City. Round 5. Gameplay. I've returned to the high-tech lab where I was created, ready to rip Milton Gregg a new hole. A breathing hole. That's what I was getting at.
Stand down. This is your last warning.
Nah. Computer, fire heat seekers. This round is all about gameplay. As always, the most critical part of any game. Terminator Resistance contains some very meat and potatoes controls and combat. Very standard first-person shooter action stuff, boosted by smooth movements and smooth gunplay. It has a simple to follow UI to help keep on top of enemy damage. It doesn't complicate things. The USP of this game is a first-person shooter set in the Terminator universe, and it really only needs to deliver solid gunplay to get passing grades. In that regard, it's some real B- stuff. Good, solid, but missing something special. Competent but unremarkable. The game also features some side quests to pad out the action, although a lot of it can be reduced to mere fetch quests. There are some additional mechanics in the game to help keep things interesting and varied. There are crafting and trading components. You collect resources around the map and use your workbench to craft ammo, health kits, and lockpicks. Excuse me a second while I walk through this wall. Okay, I'm in. On the topic of breaking in, the lockpicking system in this game is near identical to Fallout's. But that's a superb lockpicking system, so why not crib some notes? There are also some choice-based dialogue systems with minor story implications, up until you reach your final decision. It's all very Telltale games. It adds the illusion of control to your story, which is oddly fitting for a franchise that is rooted in the tensions between fate and free will.
Grenade!
Hold on. Hey, you dropped this? Yeah, have it back. The game also boasts an Infiltrator mode, free DLC that sees you play a Terminator mowing down humans in pursuit of your target. That adds some extra longevity to the game without having to fork out money for the Annihilation Line story DLC. I think the lab's down this way. Milton, show yourself, you little fuckface.
Welcome back.
Ah, Milton. I see you're a terrifying cybernetic Hulk now.
This was the end game of Project Lazarus. I was quite ill, you see. My human body would not last another winter. I needed a new one.
So that's why you had me gunned down by a gang of thugs, to test out the technology before you committed to it?
Exactly.
Why did you keep your poor breathing if you're upgrading your body?
It's a sound effect to help with continuity.
Oh, okay.
This, however, is entirely new. Activate bombardment.
Wow, okay, that was pretty excessive. Ah, shit. You really fucked me up. Okay, computer, you do a damage assessment while I talk about RoboCop Rogue City real quick. Rogue City boasts some satisfying combat that feels immersive. There's some real weighty movement, and you absorb large amounts of damage to compensate for how slow targeting is. You can melee punch enemies to death, or grab them by the throat and either use them as a human shield or as a projectile. The gore effects on enemies makes your offense feel impactful and consistently entertaining. Things do begin to fall apart with the combat once sniper enemies are introduced, as things are unreasonably weighted in their favour. Suddenly the brawny power fantasy that made the game so engaging to that point flies right out of the window and things begin to get frustrating. You can level up your attributes and certain traits will open up new opportunities, like opening safes or finding additional clues during investigations.
There you are. Come here.
Fuck you, inhale some lead.
Oh no, you don't.
Get your giant metal hand off my much smaller metal hand.
Let me take this cannon off your hands.
Jesus Christ.
Much better. Now I'm going to punch you as hard as I can.
No, you don't need to. not in good shape now. The game offers a performance card at the end of main campaigns, presented as an OCP tech evaluation to determine that you're functioning right. A lot of thought went into having things to do in this game, and being able to create a build that suits your playstyle, making the combat and policing side of things both feel intuitive and fun, and making sure it all feels appropriate for this universe.
Any last words before I crush your skull like a grape?
Yes. Did you adjust your file transfer settings?
No.
Good. Computer, transfer my isolated memories from the data spike to Milton Gregg.
Wait, what's happening? Why am I seeing so much chili? Oh no, I can't process this much. Embarrassment. I can't. Why do you keep eating it?
Have you got to the day I got diarrhea at a water park?
Oh God, no.
It was so bad it got on the news. National, not local.
It's everywhere. No, please. Get it out of my head. Get it out. Get it out.
Wow, that actually worked. Okay. Oh, shit. The winner for this round goes to the game that offers more varied game systems and play styles that all deliver at a decent level of quality, and that would be RoboCop Rogue City. Oh, something doesn't feel right. Computer, run a diagnostic check. The final verdict. Apparently I've sustained too much damage and my systems are shutting down. Slowly. The winner for this episode of Video Game Deathmatch is RoboCop Rogue City. 3 wins to 2. Both games are surprisingly good entries in two of the more inconsistent movie tie-in franchises. They pay due deference to the iconic movies that inspired them and make smart design choices to slot into their respective properties. If you're a fan of either movie series, these should be must-plays for you. Fuck it.
It's getting worse.
Getting worse. It's getting worse. I should wrap it up here. Thank you so much for listening. If you're a fan of the show, please like and subscribe on your preferred platform of choice and recommend it to your friends, family, and mysterious strangers sent from the future to protect you. You can follow me on Twitter at truly_defective and Blue Sky at trulydefective. And you can follow the podcast on VGDM Podcast. At the time of recording, the followers are mostly porn bots, so I could do with some help. So that's all for Video Game Deathmatch for now. But in the meantime, don't forget to get a life and play.
Alright lads, let's not let these parts go to waste. Bring out the buzzsaw. And keep the brain intact. It will come in handy.